welcome to the show. I'm Sherry Schreiner. Ooh, I was just outside checking out the sky. I tried to intro grow a little longer than usual. It's just such a Rocky Mountain gray Adolf Hitler. What's his name? Hitchcock. Kind of sky day, and it's been like that forever. And you know what? There's so much going on with the geoengineering and the hiding of what's going on in the skies. Also creating storms. Another telltale sign of what's going on is it's May 3rd, and it's 40 degrees outside. And in February, it was like 70. It was warmer in February than it is right now. And, typically, when I start seeing them obnoxiously suppressing the warmth, they want to make the air cold. It's usually to hide things. And the fact that the orgone that we have saturating space, saturating the air, it burns them. I think they're fighting against us. They're fighting against the orgone air. They don't need 40-degree weather to fight against each other with weather weapons, with storms. They've been doing that for years. So I think that's a side war going on. Because what I'm looking at coming in is definitely some kind of alien contact, alien attack coming. And this is what I've been keeping an eye on. That's why I keep telling you guys to stay alert for the arrival of the Muslims' Maitreya in the Middle East. Because this is what I've been seeing. And I know they've been wanting to do other things, and I've been fighting in the background with them about this, kind of going back and forth because I don't even know what what to say, what to not say. And I've been dealing with these beings for a long time, and as an ambassador on Earth for the Father, that's part of my role as ambassador. I deal with these beings, and so I see in the Bible codes where there's a lot of mediating and stuff going on, and it is, sometimes you get the upper hand, and sometimes you don't. And in this war, only because things are allowed to be, and we know eventually prophecy is going to be played out as revealed in the book of Revelation. And so sometimes you have to force that along. Sometimes you have to play hardball to get them to begin their agendas. Otherwise, we'd be in delay hell for centuries. Because as much as the New Agers think that these benevolent beings are coming to Earth to help mankind, they don't want to come to Earth. They know when they come to Earth, it signals the end for them. And so the end game literally means it's their survival game. And they have to find a way to survive their own end game. And so they don't want to begin their own end game. They're quite happy leaving things in the status quo. And so we have to push it along. We have to get things going. And yeah, they're getting mad. They're getting mad because the orgone is crashing their ships. It's crashing them. It's frying them. We're trying to force their hand to do something. And of course, they want revenge and retaliation because, as Lucifer told me in my book, Interview with the Devil, we have no idea the horrors we've caused them. We have a blip on the small picture, but we have can't even imagine the full extent of the horrors that the orgone frying space has done to them. And so that's exciting for us. But to them, it's going to put a war mentality and a vengeance, and that's coming. That's coming, I keep seeing avalanche in the Bible codes, and An avalanche is a flood. It's a flood. It doesn't sound like it's going to be that they're coming down to offer everybody healing technologies. They're angry. They're mad. And so, regardless of what's going on in the Middle East, because, the arrival of Maitreya over there as the 12th Eye Man really just sets the whole thing off. I've been talking about the 8th regime coming in, and that would begin it. I mean, that's the age of Aquarius, the last regime on Earth, replacing the age of Pisces. People have always adopted the age of Pisces, and they've always adopted the fish as a symbol of Christianity. And it'll be the end of the age of Christianity, the end of age Pisces. And that's what needs to happen, and that's what we're waiting to happen. I get tired of sitting back and watching the Masons trying to implement a third world war because it's in their script, and all this nonsense. Because China and Russia own America, so if we're going to go to war with Russia, why would Russia go to war against itself? Because Russia and China already have control of pretty much America. They took over America without a shot. They designed this whole new banking, world economy system, and they didn't do it. It was, they'll tell you, the elders, the grandfather. The Chinese have the elders and the grandfather. And this is the Ashtar Command. I told you this is the Ashtar Command running it from the background. The Chinese are Lilith's kids. The only ones duped out of it are the Russians, because I don't think they realize who or what they're dealing with. But the Russians are Japheth's kids. And America, for the most part, is Seth's kids. Because most of America, not really understanding who they are, they trace their lineage back to Europe, which is because we came over on the boats from Europe, most of our ancestors. But most of those Europeans had at one time crossed the desert over to Europe from the Middle East, from Israel. They're the Israelites, the former Israelites of old. People say about the lost 10 tribes of Israel. Hello? People started migrating out of Israel back at the time of the Exodus and populating Europe. At one time, Jeremiah the prophet had moved the Ark of the Covenant to Ireland. Jeremiah settled in Ireland. And so, deep history that they don't want you to know about Europe. And the fact that most of the countries in Europe were settled by one of the 10 tribes of Israel. Of course, there's 12, but the 10 are lost, and that's the ones I'm in regards to. And so, much people don't realize who they are. But that's why Maitreya would never come over here. His kids are over. They're Muslims. That's his charade. Maitreya was always the one that breeded the Egyptians, the elongated head species, and he's going to come as the 12th Eye Man, the world teacher for the Muslims. And while he's consolidating who he is and what he's going to do over there, we're going to be facing, I think, different things over here in the West. Obviously, this avalanche, I've seen these before, and they've never been public. They've never been visible. Because all of a sudden you'll start getting a bunch of videos online of people catching starships crashing in the skies, UFOs crashing. And that's always been the extent of it. Everything seems to happen behind the scenes, hidden away from public view. It's like there to see, if you see it, but no one's on a bullhorn telling you something's going on, some huge event is going on. And so, except me, I'll tell you. all 5,000 people who are subscribed to my YouTube channel will hear it. And most of them at any one time don't even watch the videos I put out. So, I don't know. I put all these shows on videos, and it just makes it a lot easier, I guess. It's a lot more work for me doing an audio broadcast on radio and then converting it to YouTube video and uploading it as a video. And so, but it catches different people in different ways. And so, anyway, the entire month of April, they kept screaming about the GCR and the RV was getting ready to hit. Mosul was liberated. They announced Mosul was liberated. That's the key code. That's the key word. The liberation of Mosul means 100% revaluation being announced going on. And right now, they're just playing with people. Because what I've said, and I've always said, is they want the elect gone, the fathers elect gone, before they implement the RV. And they won't RV it until they're gone. And that's been what a huge part of this fighting has been about, because, of course the elect wouldn't leave. But Father needs people here to announce and prepare the people for the coming of this regime coming in. There's only two things that's going to damn people's souls. And that's the worship of the beast and receiving his mark, name, or number in or on their right hand or forehead. And the Bible specifically warns about the great delusion that's coming. And this great delusion is so good that if it were possible, would deceive even the elect, if it were possible. Which means the elect's not deceived by it, but the bride is. So remember, the Father's bride is two groups, the elect and the bride. The elect are part of the bride because the bride is a huge, it's a bride, it's a general group of people. And the elect are a group within the bride, but they're also separate of their own. They're the first fruits. And that's what the eighth regime is waiting for. They're waiting for this first group to leave Earth, because they know that they're leaving first. They know that there's different departure times of the Father's people off the earth, and they know the elect are leaving, and they want us gone. And that's why they're waiting and delaying and delaying and delaying, because they don't want to begin their regime on earth with the elect here. And so there's a huge fight going on about it. Who's going to do what first, And, the biggest thing about it is the bride isn't ready to be left alone. The elect are the first fruits of the Father. They're the angels here on earth. They are the first fruits to Him. If you look at what the elect mean, it means firstborn. Firstborn. What are the firstborn? They were angels in heaven, were the first created, the firstborn. I wrote an article, Angels in the Flesh, and angels coming to earth from heaven, being born as humans, fulfilling roles for the Father here on earth. And then they will be taken off the earth, and that is what Lucifer is waiting for. That is what they are all waiting for these first fruits to be taken off the earth, so that they can begin their reign on earth without the Father's full presence here. Because when the elect leave, the Father won't stay. He won't stay. His presence won't stay here. There's two things that can damn your soul. It's worship of the beast, and it's getting his name, number, or image in or on your right hand or forehead. Now think about what the great delusion is. They keep talking about this great delusion. What is it that almost deceives mankind? It doesn't fool the elect, but it fools the bride. Is it the fake Jesus that's coming, Sananda? Because he's coming right after Maitreya. The fake Jesus, Sananda, that's what's going to be going on in the West, while the Middle East is embroiled with their 12th Imam in the Middle East, Maitreya. Sananda will be arriving to the West. as playing Christian. He's going to play Jesus of the Bible, and he's going to have his fake Mary mother with him. Or what I'm starting to think is because so many people are buying into the false teaching that the mark is not the chip. They're being told by Arnold Murray and others that, oh, no, the mark of the beast is not a chip implant. And so they have no fear of going and getting the chip implant. And that's going to be enforced very soon, folks, because all we have to do is switch to a digital currency, and then boom, they already got the chips and the debit cards, getting people acclimated to being forced to get a chip in around their right hand or forehead, tattooed on their forehead. Tattoos have chips in them. And so many Christians don't believe the mark is a chip. I'm floored. That's how I started thinking the other day. When someone asked me about the grand delusion, it's like, you know what? It could be this whole thing, because so many people are refusing to believe that the chip is a mark. The mark is the chip because Arnold Murray said so. I knew when I heard his shows on TV. My husband used to watch him. I've been trying to pull him away from him for years. I hate that snake. And he was teaching about that. You can't throw a belief system in the lake of fire. You know, the Antichrist is a literal being. The false prophet is a literal being. They're not systems. They bring systems with them, but the Antichrist itself is a person. You can't throw a law, Sunday law, into the lake of fire. When the Bible says it's a person being thrown in the lake of fire, these people are falling asleep at the wheel because they don't read their own Bibles. They're being taught by snakes. And so if these briders don't wake up, just open their Bibles and read Revelation chapter 13 and start reading some scripture, they're going to get lost, because when you look at the word mark of the beast, the word mark in the Strong's Dictionary, in the Hebrew Bible codes, it's chip. I don't know how to yell that any louder. And so all these briders are going to go get this chip. They're going to damn their souls. They're going to damn their souls. And I think they're smart enough to figure out Sananda is not the real Jesus of the Bible, because Jesus isn't coming to build a kingdom on earth. He isn't coming to be part of the 12 dwarfs who are going to play world teachers and ascended masters and implement a world economy and new world economic program and world government and world religion. I think they're a little bit smarter. I think they'll figure it out. But this chip thing's going to get them. This chip thing that's going to get them. So many will get the chip just because they're stupid. They got nobody to blame but themselves. That's the great delusion. It's going to be one of those two. Buying into Sananda or getting the chip. And I think that's why the Father's hesitant in removing the elect off the earth, because the bride can't stand on their own. They're babies. But the thing is, the people they do listen to are the ones who want to destroy them. They hate and spit on people like me who are trying to teach them and lead them back to the Father, but they embrace and support with everything they have the wolves who want to destroy them. But you know what? Eventually you just have to pull the plug. Eventually you just have to pull the plug, and it has to be over. It has to be time to go. You're on your own. Time to grow up. Time to stand on your own 2 feet. The babysitters are leaving. Because all this foolishness ain't fooling the elect, because they're strong in their relationships with the Father and they know Him. They're not wishy-washy. They're not embroiled in false doctrines and teachings. They're taught by the Father. They're led by the Father. And they're hated by the bride. You can't win. You can't win trying to help them. I've said it for years to the father. I get nowhere with the bride. Nowhere. I was off going after all the offspring and sprays of the fallen angels. It was easier to deal with them than it is the bride on earth. I know the father gets mad, but that, when you rag on the bride, he don't like the kids fighting. We're all his kids. But it's tough love. It's not fighting, it's tough love. Israel's always been stiff-necked, stubborn people. Following the wrong things. Whatever the majority is doing, do the opposite. Majority is always wrong. Anyway, this month of May, my favorite month, I love it. First fruits. First fruits. This is the month I expect the first fruits will leave. Anyway, folks, I'll be back Friday. We'll see what's going to go on over the weekend. Till Friday, yeah, bless.